1 second, y'all. 1 second. Oh, wrong thing. 1 second. We're gonna get going. What's up, man? Nate, we're gonna get cranking in a second. I just get all the podcast stuff set up. Spaz'n out. America's podcast. We are live. All right, we're on alls. All right, we're gonna get this puppy started. Ready? Here we go. And 3. We're gonna start this off with the DB alert. Biggest douchebag move ever in the United States of America. DB. All right. We are gonna start off with the DB, with the douchebag alert. This is Spazzing Out, America's podcast, your podcast, and one of America's biggest douchebags has pulled one of the biggest douchebag moves of all time. And we're going to get right into it. But first, as usual, let's get the formalities out of the way. We do the podcast 5 times a week. When I record it, I'm Facebook Live, I'm Twitter Live, and I'm YouTube Live. If you're watching on Twitter, share the feed, like the page. If you're watching on Facebook, same thing. Share the feed, like the page. YouTube, subscribe to my page. Everybody that has not subscribed to the podcast yet, do so. Go to whatever medium you like and subscribe to my podcast. Go to anthonypazziali.com. There's a whole bunch of links to all the podcasts. Or go to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, whatever you pick. Go there and follow, and go there and subscribe. Tons of people are subscribing to the podcast. It's crazy. The podcast is growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. Why? Because it's your podcast. But like I said, I'm in a little bit of a rush today. I'm going on a date with my wife tonight for our anniversary. So I got to get the podcast in and I got to get the podcast out. And the very first thing we're starting out with is a DB alert. What is a DB alert? It is a douchebag alert. When someone in this country does something of the highest level of douchebaggedness, douchebaggery, thank you for the happy anniversary, we point them out, and this person happens to be a multiple-time offender. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, Princess of the House Pelosi, Princess Pelosi has pulled a major douchebag move. We all know what she did. She went to a hair salon. She got her hair blown out. She got a nice shampoo, and she got a blowout. The problem is the place that she went to, the city, the state does not allow, or at the time did not allow people to be in salons. Salons were all shut down because of the pandemic. Salons all shut down. And she's caught on camera with no mask. Nancy Pelosi does nothing but bitch up and down about social distancing, wearing a mask, making sure we fight COVID, do what we have to do. Understand, talks about how businesses are closed down, wants to fight for these businesses, but yet all those businesses are shut down. No one can get their hair cut. None of these businesses can open. None of them, I can't stop shouting, bro, I'm fired up. None of them get to be open. No one gets to get a haircut. No one gets to make money. Salons are going out of business, but yet Nancy Pelosi, above the law Pelosi, gets to go and get her hair cut. Nancy Pelosi, the very one that sets regulations to ensure that the spread stops, says, we have to keep small businesses closed. We need to keep the salons closed. We can't have people in salons. But the second she needs her hair washed and she needs a blow dry, she needs a fucking blowout. Oh, of course for her, because it goes right along lines of the limousine liberals. Limousine liberals are do as I say, not as I do. Don't drink, they drink. Don't do drugs, they do drugs. Don't get your hair cut, they get your hair cut. Don't make millions, they make millions. Don't get health care, they have best health care in the fucking country. These people are disgusting. She is disgusting. Nothing pisses me off more than someone that is supposed to set the example, someone that is supposed to abide by the law, someone that is supposed to be just like you and me, is not, breaks the rules. And then to top it off, this is what she says. This is what Nancy Pelosi says after this douchebag gets caught. She gets caught red-handed, breaking the very rules that she set in place. The very rules that she set in place. Do as I say, not as I do, Nancy Pelosi. The laws are for you, not for me. I am better than you. I'll tell you how to raise your kids. I'll tell you how much money you can make, but you can't do what I do. Nancy goes in, gets the blowout, and then this is what she says when she gets busted. This is how childish she is. She calls the president a child. She's a child. Here's what she says. She says, oh, the salon owner should apologize to me. Nancy Pelosi says the salon owner should apologize to me for setting me up. I got two problems with that. First off, Nancy, you got caught red-handed. You're screwed. You got caught. And your childish excuse, oh, well, they shouldn't have, no, you shouldn't have done it. You go around, you're down on one knee with your mask on. You're in public talking about how President Trump doesn't wear his mask in places. Salons need to be shut down, but yet not for you. Not for you. Honestly, you know what? It's funny because it reminds me of a book, right? Animal Farm. The pigs, they had a bunch of rules. They had a ton of rules, right? The pigs took over the farm. They became the government. And they had a bunch of rules where they said, no animals shall drink. And then the rule changed to, well, only pigs can drink. They had a rule where apple and milk are only for animals. And then it said, well, apples and milk are only for the pigs. So apparently the limousine liberals, led by Nancy Pelosi, believe they're better than you. They believe they can parent your kids. They believe that they can break the law, but you can't. They believe they can go and use your small business whenever they want, but you can't be open. You can't be open to make money. You can't open up to make money. But when the Princess Pelosi needs her hair blown out, when Princess Pelosi needs her hair washed, by all means, you better open up that salon. And then she gets pissed. She gets upset because she got busted. Her comeback is, they should apologize to me. No, Nancy, you should resign. I call for your resignation right now. It's disgusting when people have power and they abuse that power. Isn't that what you say? If this were Donald Trump, you'd be trying to impeach him. If this was Donald Trump, it'd be called Hairgate. Everybody across, all the liberals across the country would be fucking protesting and they'd call it Hairgate. They'd be up in arms. They couldn't believe it. And what do we get from the left right now? What are we getting from the liberals, from the Democrats? Why are we talking about Nancy Pelosi's here? There's more important things going on. Oh, but now because it's Nancy who's in trouble, let's talk. Hey, fuck it. Nancy's in trouble. Let's talk about the 135 kids that the U.S. Marshal found. Now that Nancy's in trouble, oh my God, let's talk about the protests. Now that Nancy's in trouble, let's talk about anything else about the fact that Nancy thinks she's above the law. Nancy thinks she can tell you what to do, and she doesn't have to abide by the same rules. She thinks she's better than you. And she does. She's made millions of dollars being a public servant. Millions. But yet she wants to tax successful people to no end. She lives in California where they're trying to have a wealth tax, which is basically a tax on successful people. She's saying you can't be successful, but Nancy Pelosi can be. She can make millions of dollars being a public figure, Speaker of the House, has been the Speaker of the House for God knows how disgustingly long, at least when the Democrats are in power. It's okay for her. She won't get COVID, but you will. You can't have your business open. Shut your business down. It needs to be closed. But if Nancy Pelosi needs to get in there, she needs a haircut, maybe Nancy needs a slice of pizza, well, you better open up your pizza shop because here comes the princess. The princess of America needs to get her hair done. She's hungry, something, whatever. She's better than you. You have to listen to her. She knows better than you. She's going to make all your kids get vaccines. You're going to have no choice in it, but maybe her kid won't. She knows better than you. Your kids are going to go to public school. Her kids aren't going to public school. She's strolling down the street in her limousine, and she breaks the very fucking rules that she sets up. She calls her hairdresser, says, hey, it's Pelosi. Like, who the fuck are you? Hey, it's Pelosi. Bro, Nancy, if you fucking called me and were like, hey, pause. Hey, Spaz, it's Pelosi. I'd say, yup, click. I'd hang up on your ass. Now, I don't want to talk all high and mighty, okay? I just want to point out that it absolutely pisses me off that somebody like Nancy Pelosi, who is, bro, don't be, let's not forget here. Nancy Pelosi is third in line. Or actually, she's second in line, I guess. You have the president. If the president dies, it goes to the vice president. If the president and vice president happen, well, they might go through all the cabinet. So she's, I don't know the order of succession. Do they go to the Speaker of the House, then everybody in the cabinet? Or do they go everybody in the cabinet, then the Speaker of the House? I'm going to have to look that up. All I know is she is the most powerful Democrat, one of the most powerful people in the United States, one of the people that sets the policies, one of the people that does nothing but bitch about how Donald Trump has handled all right, someone said speaker after vice president. All right, so I had it right. So basically it starts up top. It goes president dies, vice president dies, then the Speaker of the House becomes president until we find a president, right? She's right there in the line of succession of power, the very person that tells us how we should live. And then she goes, fuck you, I'm going to do what I want because I got to do a TV interview and I got to make sure my hair is washed and I get a nice blowout. But nobody else can do it. And this lady's business can't be open, but it can only be open for special treatment Princess Pelosi. For fucking special Pelosi. Make sure we open up. Drives me nuts when someone has tons of power and they tell me what I have to do, but you don't abide by it. You don't go by it. You don't live by it. You know what would have related more? So now I'm gonna scale it back, Nancy, and I'm gonna pretend that I'm part of your team, right, Nancy? I'm one of your publicists or I'm one of your people. And I would say, hey, Nancy, bad idea going to get your hair done at a salon. Bad idea. They can't be open. You're not allowed to go. What you could do is you could reach out to your hairstylist and have her fucking meet you somewhere and she could do it. Or better yet, Nancy, God forbid, maybe you would go on TV with your hair a little messed up, looking a little fucked up. And then when the host says, hey, what's going on? You look disheveled. You could say, hey, I'm like every other American. I can't get my fucking hair cut. People would relate to that. But you don't know anything about relating to people. All you know about is telling us what to do and not doing it. And you know what happens when you tell us what to do and you don't lead by example? We see through you. You become transparent. We don't care about you. We don't trust you. It's like if my dad tried to tell me to do something, but he didn't do it too, I wouldn't listen to him. I'd be like, yeah, bro. If I ever call my dad bro, he'd fucking put me through the floor. But my father led by example. He talked the talk and he walked the walk. My dad told me, this is how you do shit, and that's how my father did it. My father's like, you work hard, my dad worked hard. You're not better than anybody else, you stay humble. That's what my dad did. My father didn't come out and say, hey, you can't get a haircut here, and then go stroll his ass in here and get a haircut. It's disgusting. It's deplorable. And the story needs to be bigger than it is. The problem isn't that she got a haircut. The Democrats are making it seem like, oh, Nancy got a haircut and you guys are all whining. Again, if it were President Trump, you'd be impeaching him. If President Trump got his haircut at a salon that is legally supposed to be shut down, you guys would have Congress already all set up for impeachment trials again, and you'd be trying to bounce them out, and it'd be called Hairgate. It'd be talked about for ages. Oh, remember Hairgate when Donald Trump got his haircut and no one else could? You'd be going nuts. It's not about the haircut. I can't stand you people that try to make it about the haircut. It's about abuse of power. It is about taking advantage of somebody. I'm not going to calm down, man. Oh, someone told me to calm down, cult leader. I'm not a cult leader. You know what? I am a cult leader of hard-working Americans. I represent hard-working Americans that don't want to be taken advantage by our fucking representatives, by our scumbag representatives that are going to tell us what to do, but not do the same thing. Bro, if I eat shit, you better be fucking eating shit. Plain and simple. Get up all high and mighty. Tell people they got to close their businesses down until you need something. Until you need them. Scumbag. You should resign immediately. You've lost the faith of your party. You've lost the faith of the American people. We don't trust you. We don't relate to you. We have nothing in common with you. All you do is get on TV and you tell us how we should live our lives, and then you go do something else. This is what you do, Nacy. You say, don't smoke, and then you go and rip a butt. You say, don't drink and drive, and I'm not saying that she smokes butt, guys. I'm using as an example. Okay? She says, don't eat cake. She eats cake. That one right there is the Marie Antoinette fucking... or whatever the lady's name, I don't even know my history, dude. The lady who said, let them eat cake or whatever the hell it is, straight up while there's protests going on and this bitch is getting her hair cut. Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to hear it. I don't. Because if it was President Trump, all you Democrats, all you limousine liberal assholes, all you dipshits that live in Arlington and Lexington with your fucking stupid Joe Biden signs out in front of your house, would all be like, oh, can you believe President Trump got his hair done and nobody else can? We gotta impeach him. He's a scumbag. I don't want to hear it. It's fucking ridiculous. It's abuse of power. Step down. You should be embarrassed. And you should be embarrassed by your response. Nancy Pelosi, your response is disgusting. You saying that the owner of the shop should apologize for setting you up is like saying police officers should apologize to criminals for a sting. So now I'm a cop and I'm running a sting and I'm trying to get you to buy some drugs or sell me some drugs. What, I'm going to apologize after I set your ass up? Oh, hey, bro, I'm so sorry. I got you to buy the drug. I got you to sell me the drugs. Ha, 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 ha! Drives me nuts. You should be apologizing to the American people for being a douchebag. You should come out and admit we would like you more. I would appreciate you more if you came out and you were honest. This is what I want from Nancy Pelosi, or I won't move on from it. I want you to come out and say, yep, I'm the Speaker of the House. I am the most powerful woman in the United States, and you're fucking right. I made this bitch do my hair. You're damn right. I'd respect that. I'd respect it 100% if you came out and said you used your privilege. Oh, privilege. Wait a second, Nancy. Did you use privilege to get a haircut? Did you put someone who works at a hair salon in a tough position? Did you use your influence and privilege to get a haircut and make your hairdresser cut your hair when she probably didn't want to? But what are you going to do? How are you going to say no to someone in such high power? How are you going to say no to the most powerful woman in the United States with such privilege, with such, dare I say, white privilege, Nancy? Did you use your white privilege to get a haircut? Oh, Nancy. Highest order of douchebaggery. You used your white privilege and you got yourself a haircut. But we would like you better if you were honest. We'd still bounce your ass. You need to get canceled, as they say. You should be canceled immediately. But you know what? There are far worse things that have happened, but we want the truth. So just say it. Nancy, say it. Because there's honestly not many people. There are not many people in the world that wouldn't use their power to get something they want. There aren't. Few and far between. It's a tough thing. George Washington might be the only dude. Washington was like, I could be king. They were calling him His Excellency. They were going to crown his ass. And he said, nah, I'm good. I won the war. I'm going to go home. I'm going to tend to my tobacco. I'm going to make some whiskey. See you guys later. I'm out. I don't want it. They had to beg the guy to come back. But not Nancy. Nancy's hungry. Power hungry. She wants to be the president someday. She'd love to be. Now, we ain't going to put the fucking crypt keeper in the White House because we shouldn't, because it's apparent that she abuses power. But if she was honest about it, she'd relate more. I would relate to that. If Nancy came out and was just like, yep, I abuse my power. Yeah, you're damn right. I'd be cool with it. Because why have fucking power if you can't? Right? I'm not saying you should abuse power and you should oppress people. You should stand up for us. You should use your power to fight for the American people. Not use it to say, do as I say, not as I do. But we would like you, we could relate to that. As a poor kid, I grew up a poor motherfucker. I still work my ass off. I long for the days when I have I can't say the word, prestige and power. Because, bro, I'd love to use it. I tried it. Shit. When I was on the radio, I tried it and I got my ass shut down. I went to a club and I had flip-flops on, and this dude was like, yeah, you can't come in here with that. I was like, yeah, I can. I know the owner. Guy's like, nope, I don't give a shit. You can't come in. I was like, yeah, bro, I'm coming in here with my fucking sandals on, and if you don't like it, you're going to get fired. Plain and simple. I was like, yeah, bye. I was a punk ass. I was like 25. Dude was like, fuck you. Told me to leave. Sure as shit. I called his boss, and the shit was on the radio. I looked like the asshole, but I still tried to do it. So just say it. Say, yep, I'm Nancy Pelosi. I'm the Speaker of the House. And because I'm the Speaker of the House, I have high stature, and I'm going to get my goddamn hair cut. And that's it. And if you don't like it, tough crap. We'd respect you. We'd call you a bitch. Like, damn, this lady's a bitch. But at least you weren't lying, and you weren't hiding, and you were just honest about the fact that, hey, you've worked as a public servant your entire life, and if you want to get your goddamn hair cut, you're getting your hair cut. Simple. But no, you snuck in. You didn't want anybody to know. And then when you got caught, you whined like a little bitch. You whined. Why? Because you committed the ultimate sin. You abused your power. You used your white privilege. I don't really think there's white privilege, but I like saying it because it's Nancy Pelosi. You used your privilege. You took advantage of this person. You put them in a tough spot. And then you went against everything you set up. You set up the standards or helped set up the standards for social distancing, wearing masks, and making sure people abide by that, and making sure businesses are closed so that things don't get spread. And then you break the rules and you get caught and you whine. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. All right, that's enough on Nancy, okay? Point in case on this. If you have power, you don't get to abuse it. So don't. It's a privilege to be in power. And luckily enough, in this great country of ours, we get to decide when you're finished. If we don't like you, we can vote somebody else in. So I hope to God that the people in California realize that Nancy Pelosi is nothing but a liar and a cheat and has been sucking off your teat for many, many years, making millions of dollars while you don't, and then wants to tax the hell out of you for being successful. It's time to get rid of Nancy and move on. And this needs to be a bigger issue. Not just because it's a haircut, because she abused powers. She abused her power. But it's even worse that all these businesses have to. Dude, you know how many hair salons are going to go out of business because of this? Nancy Pelosi's the person. She's one of them. She put these people out of business like you can't be open. No, you can't be open. Fuck your business. Got to think about that stuff. You have to remember that shit. She can't be let off the hook from this. I hope Trump slams her for it. I hope he fucking hammers it home. All right, listen. I don't have much time tonight, okay? Yesterday was my anniversary. Tonight is the night that I'm taking my wife out on a date. So it's date night. We're going to go out to eat. I love her. Honey, yeah, but honey, I don't think I said it last night. Sweetie, I've been with you for, I think 12 years now. Maybe 11. I don't know the exact amount of time. It's been a really long time. You've been putting up with me for a long time, and I'm a very, very, very difficult person to deal with, to get along with, to be with. I'm demanding. I'm a downright fucking douchebag. And somehow, day after day, night after night, year after year, you continue to support me, and you continue to love me with everything you got. I love you so much. Thank you. I honestly, I'm nothing. I got nothing if I don't have you. I say it all the time. It's like Rocky when Adrian was in the hospital and Rocky wanted to, Rocky 2, and he was ready. He was training, but he wasn't really training because she wasn't behind him. And I feel like that when you're behind me, I can do anything. When you don't back me, I slug along. So I love you, and I can't wait to get out to eat. All right. A couple other things I want to get to, but I do have to wrap it up. Because I'm going to be late. I had to talk about the Nancy Pelosi thing, dude. Absolutely drives me bonkers. It's shameful. Absolute shame. Shame, shame, shame. While we were just talking about Nancy Pelosi and being rich and having privilege, there's a new study in the news. I just want to cross this off so I don't do it again. We should talk about the Electoral College. Shit. All right, let's just do it. So there's a new study in the news. This goes under the category of, we knew, obviously, but apparently, if you are generous, you are going to live longer. Generosity is tied to living longer. Now, you may not think the way I think. You might say, yeah, man, hey, man, I'm going to donate. I'm generous that you're going to live longer because you're generous. Well, I can tell you this. The reason why people who are generous live longer is because they're rich. Generous people have money. People who are generous that don't have money are fucking idiots. I don't care what you say. If you don't have the loot to give away, don't give it away. Because you're gonna be like, oh, you're trying to act all generous, like, hey, bro, here's like $10. I'll be like, yeah, right. That $10 going right in my pocket. So the reason that people who are generous live longer is because most likely people who are generous have the money to be generous. We'd all like to be generous. All of us. Honestly, I don't talk much about my charitable donations or the things that I do for charity, but I do give to charity and I care about that stuff. I care. I want to have my own charity someday. I work a lot with the Greg Hill Foundation. I care about that stuff. I do. But you know what? I'd be more charitable if I had more money. So that's why it's tied together. People who are more generous have money, and people who have money live longer. Why do they live longer? Because they don't have stress the way we have stress. They don't get up every day, and they're not like, I got to make money. You think Jeff Bezos has got any worries? No, he's got none. Zero. Zilch. The guy doesn't worry about shit. He could stop doing whatever the hell he's doing now, sell Amazon, and be chill for the rest of his life. He'd be fine. Not only would he be fine, he could hire a doctor to follow him around for the rest of his days. He could hire a fucking ambulance to drive with him everywhere he goes in the event that a health risk happens. And he's generous as fuck. So isn't Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett's one of the most generous people. This dude's been around forever. He's 90. Bill Gates is super generous. He's going to live for a long time. He's got a fucking ton of money. That's it. Plain and simple. So when they say generosity is linked to living longer, what they should say is, bitch, if you got money, you can be generous. And because you have money, you're going to live longer. But you could be generous along the way. I would like to be generous, but my kindness is only in terms of favors. I can be generous with favors. And I don't want to be generous with favors because favors are a time suck. As you know with me, if you ask me to do something and it takes more than 10 minutes, it's not a favor. It's work. It's not a favor anymore. It took 10 minutes. It's not a favor. I don't have that kind of generosity with my time. My time's limited. Very limited. And since I'm not generous, it's even more limited because apparently I'm going to die younger than the rich people who can be generous, who have tons of money and they can be generous. I ain't got nothing to give, so I can't be generous. I apologize. I'm very sorry. I will die young. But I hope to God, or I pray for God for guidance, that I may live long enough that my podcast becomes successful, and then maybe I can be generous and buy myself a couple of extra years. So all in all, the study's BS. Generous people live longer because they are rich, not because they are generous. That is simple. I don't know any generous poor person that has had a long-ass life. Nope, they died. They died poor. They always say it. Oh, they died poor, but they gave everything away. Yeah. That's why they died young, because they were mad stressed out because they gave everything away. You don't hear any stories in the news about Warren Buffett dying. Guy's 90. Mad generous, giving away all his loot. But he's still got plenty left. So generosity tied to living longer. But the way I see it, generosity equals having money, so you get to live longer. Nothing against having money. I long to have money. I long for success. I work my ass off towards that end. I want loot. Mas monies. Pesos. I don't want fucking pesos, bro. I want big bucks. Big bucks. All right. Let me check. All right. Let's quick on the Electoral College, and then we're going to end the podcast. I only bring this up because every 4 years, when the presidential election comes down, this trends in the news to get rid of the Electoral College. What is the Electoral College? Briefly, I'll try to explain it the best I can in Spaz'nese for you people. But the president is actually not elected by the people. The president is elected by a group of electorate, or is that how you say it? By this group, they're called the Electoral College. Every state has them, and it's equal to the number of representatives or congressmen you have. So here in Massachusetts, I believe we have 9 House representatives and 2 senators. We have 11 electoral people. Get what I'm saying? Rhode Island, I think, has 4. I don't know for sure, but you have 2 senators and however many House of Representative members you have. Each state has their electoral college or their electorate. I can't say the fucking word right. They have the people that vote equal to the amount of representatives they have in Congress. Congress is made up of the Senate, which is the upper house, and the lower house is the House of Representatives. Okay? So now are we kind of all on the same page here? The reason that we have this system is so that every state is equally represented. The reason that it happens is because California is the most populous state in the country. New York is the next most populous state. Every single year, California and New York would decide who our president is if we went with the popular vote. The reason we don't go with the popular vote is because we don't want, as a country, 2 states to decide who our president is. It takes away the value of the other states. The whole point is so that each state is represented equally and have equal power and equal playing field. That's why we do it. That's what the college is about. The Electoral College is all about fairness and equality across the states. Otherwise, every single year, whoever ran for president would get elected by California and by New York if we went with the popular vote. Are you kind of understanding this? Am I explaining that well enough? If you got rid of it, right? If you got rid of the Electoral College, again, every president would be decided by 2 states. How is that fair to the other 48 states? They would have no say. They would have no right. I mean, the reason that every state has 2 senators is so that it's even. They have 2 senators to make it even, and then they get representatives equal to their population. Same thing with the electors. Now, some states mandate that the people that the Electoral College votes go with the popular vote. So I believe Massachusetts is one of those states where if mass popular vote votes for Biden, all 11 of our electoral votes go to Joe Biden. Some states aren't like that. Some states, they can go in their own direction. I don't know what states they are because I didn't sit down and look into it, but I will another day. Let's just say you had 4 votes in the Electoral College. You don't have to go with what your state said. You could say, nah, I'm going to vote for Trump. You don't even have to vote for Trump. You can say, nah, I'm going to vote for Anthony Pazziali. And these people are actually elected by your local legislation, your state reps, I can't say the word, man. I might be fucking having a Trump stroke. Your legislator, your fucking state government picks the people who vote. Some states tie it in so it doesn't go. The whole point of it is so it's even. That's it. That's all I had to say. I don't have to get into it. I don't want to get all fired up and run the run of the mill. When the stupid asses out there that say, oh, Hillary Clinton would have been president, or Al Gore would have been president, or anybody that's ever won the popular vote but not the Electoral College, guess what? That's what makes us a great country. That's what makes us a great republic. Everything is equal. Every state has the same power as the next. So California doesn't become the dominant state. Do you understand? So that New York doesn't become a dominant state. Every state has power. Every state is equal. Every state is represented when you have the Electoral College. I would feel the same fucking way if Trump won the popular vote but lost the college. I would say, hey, that's what makes our country great. That's what makes Rhode Island, Delaware, New Hampshire, the smaller populated states, equal to the other states. States' rights. States have a say. If we didn't have it and we went popular vote, California and New York would pick our president every fucking year. There. Done. I hope that makes sense to you morons, you constitutional fucking wisdom dinks out there to understand. Please understand. I know that you're frustrated. You're like, oh, well, the population wants it. No, the population in California wants it. The population in New York wants it. But not all the states want it. Not all the states. It's fair that way. All right. Listen, I'm out. Thank you so much for listening to this short episode of Spaz'n Out. I got to go take my wife out on a date. This lovely lady deserves a night out. She deserves a drink. She deserves my attention. I don't give it to her enough. I should. I'm lucky she hasn't ran out on my ass yet. So, honey, I love you. Thank you for listening to America's podcast. Great. All right, guys. YouTube, peace.